Hey, folks. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're joining us from. Welcome to this new episode of the Rise Up Radio. And today we don't have one guest, we have two lovely ladies on the show, and they're Stacy Proctor and Maya Magnusson. Stacy, Maya, very, very warm welcome to the Rise Up Radio to both of you.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
Awesome, folks. So, a quick introduction about both of them, and obviously, they're going to talk more about the work that they're doing. So, a little bit about Stacey. So, she is an HR leader and a people advisor with extensive experience in implementing large scale change management initiatives. She's previously held the title of Chief People Officer as well and contributed to various people functions across various different industries. Is that right, Stacey?
That's right. That's right. I have had the privilege of working for companies across 5 industries that are either helping people or the planet, and I love it.
Awesome. Awesome. And then we have Maya. So Maya is the CEO and the executive coach at the Leadership Cadence. Maya believes in the power of change, and she's on a mission to activate leaders who can change the world. Well, she has also written a book, which is Taking the Pain Out of Managing One Day at a Time, and also holds numerous certifications. Maya, welcome again, and do share a little bit about what you're doing.
Yeah, thank you, Ashish. Yeah, we been doing this for a couple of years now. It's about 25 years almost. But as we know, the world is changing, so we got to figure out how to join that change.
Yep.
So that's what we're focusing on. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Awesome. And that's exactly what we're going to be discussing today, which is, the human element or human intelligence in the AI era, right? So right off the bat, I'm going to ask you one very simple question. AI is at, the center of every conversation that's happening in organizations across the entire world. But as these conversations are happening, they're still not showing up that actively in implementations or on the ground in organizations, right? So, what's basically slowing down the AI adoption or the real change behind AI in organizations? So, what's your take on that?
Well, let me jump in here because what I'm seeing mostly is a changed leadership challenge, right? We are not starting with that mentality, which at the very beginning is about assessing and aligning. We need to really assess whether or not our culture, our company purpose, right? All of these things, the mind shift, where are we on our journey here? And we need to tie AI to the purpose of what our company is doing so that we can have an open and honest and transparent conversation with employees of how is AI going to improve the customers, the clients, the patients, whomever it is we are trying to serve. And until we start to really slow down and start to really align around those things from top to bottom within the organization, and make sure that our culture is prepared. Are we a culture that allows for experimentation? Are we a culture that allows for really being able to fail and that that's okay? Are we
Right.
transparent? And all of these things that create success with an AI adoption. And I think companies are really struggling because they're skipping over that part and just trying to figure out what to automate.
Hmm. Maya,
And
is
I,
that kind of a deja vu, looking back at the previous tech adoption cycles and, same questions are being asked and same reasons are surfacing again and again, isn't it?
well, it's what is so interesting about it is, so we are in the thrust of AI conversations.
Hmm.
And there's a great saying that goes, hard wood grows slow. Like can't make a tree grow faster. I mean, you could put some
Right.
fertilizer on it, I guess, right? So AI is growing faster than humans develop naturally.
Hmm.
So from a
Hmm.
behavioral perspective, we're just trying to catch up, and this lag is creating all kinds of interesting challenges and
Hmm.
opportunities.
Hmm. So where's the gap and how do we fill it? Is it just the culture? Is it just the mindset? Is it combination? I know you've already hinted towards it, but we need to talk about that gap because at the end of the day, uh, we have gone through those technology cycles, right? And the previous technology cycles did not move as fast as this technology cycle is moving. Right, man, you're absolutely right in pointing that out, right? So earlier technology cycles were moving slower, and the humans were able to catch up to that. Now there is a gap, and that is widening every 6 months, if not every quarter. So how do we bridge that gap?
Oh,
Well,
may I
at
just
the
jump in on? Oh, sorry. Now we're getting excited, both of us. Let me just open this door because I know Stacy will get into that. I think what is so interesting is that what we used to have time to adapt for, or what we needed to develop, like in leadership development, we had like, change management and strategic thinking, and we got all these things. That's not where we need to focus anymore. I mean, yes, we do, but the growth needs to happen somewhere completely different. And so then I will leave that ball with Stacy.
I just think that there's so much to be said around this, and we are excited about it. What I am seeing that is really debilitating in the AI adoption is all around the foundation of everything, which is trust. Can people trust AI? Can people trust the company? Do managers trust employees? Do employees trust managers? And that is one of the reasons why the change leadership is so critical, because we need to take a deep breath and think about how we are creating opportunities for everyone to be trustworthy in this journey. AI has been used as unfortunately, as a productivity hype tool, right? So we can just slash the employees, we can bring in and automate with AI, and we're just going to move forward because our costs are going to be reduced. And companies are realizing that that is not happening. When you lose your institutional knowledge, you lose not only all of that information that is so critical to what it is you do, but you lose your human connectedness to allow for your mission to move forward.
Right.
What is it you're trying to do? And most companies are trying to provide some kind of opportunity that requires a human connectedness.
Correct.
And so the gap is widening because we are not having the right transparent conversations and empower employees around how, first and foremost, AI fluency. What does this mean in our company? What does that include? How does it work? Are we really stepping back and saying, let's start at the beginning? Prompt engineering from an AI for AI is different than a Google search. That's not the same thing. So let's talk about prompt engineering and what those prompts should include. For example, things like every single prompt should ask 3 questions. Before you respond at all, AI, please tell me what questions you have for clarification. Tell me what assumptions you are making, and please check my assumptions. And I've been doing this over the last 6 months, and it's amazing how much better the whole interaction is and how more productive I can be, because I'm actually taking something from the AI tool that's actually helpful. Right? And so the gap is widening because there's a rush or a sense of urgency to slash and to hurry up and automate these things. And it's creating rework, it's creating frustration, and it's absolutely creating a continual loss of trust.
Right. You know what? When you were saying this, right, I was smiling because a lot of times when I am talking to organizations right now, the entire conversation behind AI is around productivity. It's not on how do we get better at what we're doing instead of trying to cut costs, right? Or how do we reimagine the business models, or how do we reimagine the way we are working all together instead of thinking in terms of can we reduce the number of people. And one of the very big examples that we are seeing right now in our industry, at least, and you would have seen as well, is in the learning and development space, right? So a lot of people are asking, hey, can we create content faster? Can we create more and more content? But at the end of the day, or can we let go of 5 instructional designers? But that's not the question. The question is, you already have tons and tons of content, and that content is sitting and nobody's consuming it and upskilling or skilling themselves, right? The core issue is the content is not relevant to the people. It is not evident how it's basically helping them grow and do their jobs better, which is going to boost the company forward rather than creating more content. So inherently, Stacy and Maya, I totally agree with you that the questions that are being asked in organizations are inherently not the right questions. Could we say that?
I would 100% agree with that. Absolutely. And also for us not to assume that more content is good. Because
Yeah.
if the, excuse my language, but like, I have this in a different language in my head, but like garbage in, garbage out. Eventually
Yeah.
I'll get there, right? So this idea of when we're looking at L&D development, as you do as well, it's not about can we put more people through the programs? Can
Yep.
we check the boxes on training, which
Yep.
is useless if it's the same regurgitated content,
Correct.
right? So
Correct.
that where AI comes in, and I know you have a fantastic product as well, that allows you to use that content in a way that the new way we're going to learn. So we got generational gap.
Yep.
The new generation coming in, this is not going to be new to them. This is what
Absolutely.
they do.
Absolutely.
Right? It's sort of like seeing a 5-year-old with a phone. That's just normal to them.
Correct.
Like we had rotary, right? Stacy, I don't know, Ashish, but I had rotary phone. That's what my generation
I've
has.
seen them as well. So yeah.
You've seen them on TV, yeah. So
I've used them as well, by the way. So
oh, good. So point is, as we're looking at this, and I just want to jump in on Stacy's comment on trust. If we're looking at how trust is created, think about Brene Brown. She uses her marble jar analogy. So trust is made in marble jar moments. So like a moment of trust goes into my jar and it fills up. How are we supposed to trust AI when that's how we as our human wisdom, our human intelligence develops? So
yeah.
Stacey is so important as we were looking at how do we build trust around AI, a marble at a time. Except AI should be propelling us forward. Humans are not catching up. So
Yep.
talk about a gap. Yeah.
Yep. Yep.
Huge gap.
And you're spot on, because clear is kind is the other famous and critically important Brene Brown phrase, right? Clarity with employees about how are we empowering you to be thoughtful and working cross-functionally around what actually should be automated that helps improve our customer outcome, right? And how are you then involved in the evolution of your role here at this company?
Yeah.
So that everything is moving in tandem, right?
Correct.
Empowering employees, truly empowering them, including them in the conversations, the constant transparent communication is what also builds clarity and trust.
So, I'm hearing trust, I'm hearing culture, I'm hearing clarity, I'm hearing communication. And all of it starts right at the top, isn't it? And then it flows down. So, in a nutshell, we're still saying that, the top is, okay, pardon my French, but still crooked. We need to fix it, right? And then only things can get fixed.
Yeah, I kind of see it from a both ends perspective, right? Is that the assessing and the aligning, especially at the top, is crucial. If you have one, rogue executive that's like, no, the work we do is too important, we don't need to worry about that AI thing.
Yeah.
Right? We don't have time for that.
Yeah.
Then it all falls apart, right? That alignment is so incredibly important. And the walking the talk. Right? Sure, go ahead and do AI, but I'm not going to do that. That's not going to work either, right? But I also think that from a grassroots effort, and this is where the transparent communication comes in, is what technology, what AI are you using now? How's that working? Oh, wow. We need to really wrap our arms around what employees are actually doing, because we need to be very crystal clear about what's protected AI tools versus, let's experiment, but not with any IP information.
True.
Versus, no, this is completely prohibited. We cannot put information into this system. It's just something we're not trusting at this point.
Right.
So again, back to the clarity and the grassroots effort around employees, they understand our processes better than we do as leaders. They have the institutional knowledge. They are really the key to the success. And so allowing for them to be fully empowered and aligning from the top so that it all comes together. We are all in this together. Maja, what am I missing?
Yep.
Nothing on that. And I think part of what Stacy and I, what we're exploring from a leadership development perspective, what are those competencies? What is it that we're going to need?
Yeah.
And she's already alluded to many of them, but we're looking at things like discernment. Can you discern if that is valid information or not? I did a quick search the other day about what award program, does this airline have this award program? And ChatGPT said, yes, as a matter of fact, they do. I went ahead and booked my ticket. Well, come to find out, they exited that 2024. So can I discern, do I have enough information to bounce information off of to discern it? Critical thinking. We're looking at ethical and moral judgment.
Right.
Because we don't know where the information is going to come from. It's accessible from all ends, right? So part of that is I'm just writing a blog about it as we speak, literally. So it's fresh because I want to take the conversation away from even human intelligence to human wisdom, because that's something AI doesn't have yet. It doesn't have wisdom. It doesn't have discernment. It has an algorithm.
Correct.
Right? So how do we develop wisdom? How do we develop core foundational strengths in ourselves as human beings, leaders, managers, and we lead from that perspective? So AI is the tool it's meant to be. It is not meant to take over our jobs, right?
Absolutely. I think the way I see AI evolving and the real use cases for AI is as a complement to human beings rather than as a replacement to human beings, right? Can it 10x me as an individual and a performer? Yes, absolutely. I think that's the way to go rather than can it replace me as an individual and as a worker. And as we go more and more deeper into this era, I think it's going to be hybrid teams. It's going to be teams who are working with managers who are working with humans, and then they're aided by AI co-pilots or agents as well, right? And that's going to change the paradigm of the workplaces totally. In the next 2 to 5 years, the way org design happens, it's going to be much flatter. That is my prediction. It's going to be much flatter. It's going to be larger spans of control. And things are going to become a little trickier in terms of how to manage such larger spans of controls, right? How do you see leadership development programs or manager development programs evolving to be able to cope with these changes in the org structures and organizational workplaces?
To me, that's where the new skills come in. They're not new skills, they're redefined. I don't love the word upskilling. I get that's a new word. I want to repurpose it a little bit. So for example, collaboration, not a new skill, right? We've talked about it for years. Nobody does it well. But now we have to elevate collaboration and team leading because we're not leading in these hierarchies anymore. It's going to be more of that flat, cross-functional, output-based work systems. So the infrastructures will change. And we did a really exciting project for one of our clients in the Middle East. And the CEO said, come in as a consultant. And he said, I want any system, everything is up for grabs, that he called 100-100. So if I wanted to, I could 100% opt in 100%. So we had to rethink the whole thing. I think that's what AI is doing for us. It's pushing us to rethink how we're interacting. Building trust, again, not a new skill. But how you develop trust, vulnerability, depth. I've added something, Stacy, since you and I talked to our list. Warmth, connectedness. We're looking at how does somebody do those things. Wasn't necessary in the industrial knowledge working environments. It's going to be an essential skill. So not new, repackaged, and elevated.
Repurposed, elevated, yep. Stacey, what do you think?
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I think that the bots cannot be managed without deep patience and institutional knowledge, right? Without ethics, without intense curiosity, right? Without agility. These are all human wisdom, human intelligence. But I love the transition to the human wisdom because it it really helps us articulate that our experiences as humans and the way that we understand and feel and work through the challenges, they matter.
Yep.
And they will matter even when there are people and bots that you're leading, right? And so I think that I totally agree. We need to double down on being able to articulate and to help employees articulate, managers, leaders articulate what it is that is very specifically human wisdom and what actually should just be automated because it can be helpful to allow for us to have more time for that, the human pieces of what we do.
Right. I think the biggest, sorry, Maya, your thought.
Okay.
Go ahead, please.
Oh,
I was saying,
so you go ahead.
no, I'm gonna take a pause. Please go ahead, Maya.
So I'll fill in this part here. I think part of what we're going to face, another challenge we'll face, is that new generations are coming in thinking information is experience. So there's something that humans have developed through our experience. I don't know about you, but as you're leading bigger teams, you're elevating, you're expanding, you're growing.
Correct.
I had a client who inherited somebody from another team, and the person said, well, I think I should be in charge of strategic thinking. And this manager looked at her and said, how about this? How about you watch me do strategic thinking? You are nowhere ready for that. You have no skills. So the danger of this new way of accessing information is that generation will think, because I have accessed the information, I understand it, I know how to do it. They haven't embodied it.
Yep.
So I think that's something that we're going to need managers to be more like coaches, like semi-parents. You're going to have to fill all
the point I was trying to make, Maya, was very similar to this because I think this generation, which is basically forming up the bulk of the individual contributor population in organizations, is actually at the most risk of being replaced by AI a lot of times, right? And Stacy, to your point, this generation, and Maya, to your point as well, does not have that wisdom yet to be able to start making those strategic decision making or strategic thought process, right? They are more executors, and AI is actually replacing that execution very rapidly and very much better. And there has to be kind of an existential crisis in this particular demographic. But on the other hand, Maya, like you said, there's also the flip side of some unco-founded belief that, okay, we can do this. But at the end of the day, there is that lack of depth of body of knowledge behind it as well, right? And lack of experience. How does this generation and demographic cope with it then?
Well, I think the first and foremost challenge that I am worried about, to underestimate it, is the brain rot, right? Is this whole mentality that AI is
Makes
just
it easier.
going to do everything for me, and I'm going to be successful because I'm going to be managing bots.
Yeah.
And it goes to the thing that we all know, which is we don't know what we don't know.
Yeah.
And when you are a young person and you haven't had those kinds of experiences because you just haven't had those opportunities yet,
correct,
you don't know what you don't know. And I think it's a disservice to set people up in a way that, like Maya's talking about, is that that's just going to be the resolution.
correct.
Because we have a responsibility, and in my perspective, we have an obligation as senior leaders to create these experiences for people.
Right.
That's why I think it's incredibly important that we not skip any steps. That we not make any assumptions about how far along people are with their AI knowledge, that we really require the prompt engineering as a minimum skill set,
right,
that we train people how to do it, that we work with them, that we create these experiences where they fail and they learn. And that's the exciting part, is that you're learning something from your failure, right? All of these things, we are going to have to be incredibly intentional about how that happens in this current state.
And Stacy, maybe use that example you shared the other day about the mushroom. I think it's such a great example.
Yeah,
tell us about it, Stacy.
So the example is that the person ask AI, is this mushroom edible? And the
Oh, yeah.
response was yes. Yes. The person ate the mushroom and got terribly sick and went back to AI and said,
Yep.
why did the mushroom make me sick? And the response was because the mushroom's poisonous.
Yeah.
So the AI did not give the wrong answer.
Yep.
AI was that is
The context is missing, basically, right?
the context is totally missing, and which goes to my obsession around these three things that always every single prompt. What am I assume? What challenge my assumptions?
Yeah.
Please ask me clarifying questions.
Right.
Right?
Right.
Challenge my right. I want to know what you're assuming, AI.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And you have to have experience and wisdom to know how to ask the right questions and
True.
how to
True.
respond so that
True.
when that comes back, AI always gives me a whole list.
Yep.
Here's my 10 assumptions. Here's my 5 questions for clarification. And
Yep.
then I have to use my experience
True.
and my institutional knowledge to say, oh,
To take a
okay,
decision, then to make a
yes,
decision after
no.
that. Yep.
Well, and
So,
to feed that information back
right.
so that AI can properly respond to me.
Correct. So I think for ICs, again, we're going back to very basic principles, right? More of self-awareness and being inquisitive, right? Even in the AI era, you have to be more self-aware in terms of what assumptions are you making. Are you learning or not, and not completely depending on a tool, which is AI at the end of the day, right? To prevent your brain rot, etc., etc. Now, the role of the managers is going to change drastically, right? I believe that not gonna be task executors anymore. I think they're not gonna be the task managers. The role is gonna go more softer. It's gonna go more towards emotional intelligence, more relationship building, more coaching, like you said, Stacy, right? Which is coaching people to do the right thing rather than teaching them how to execute a task, because that's something that AI can do, right? How do you see the role of managers changing over period?
So I think first and foremost, they absolutely have to be directly connected to what it is we're accomplishing and trying to do for our customers, our clients, whomever
Hmm.
we serve.
Hmm.
Because they have to see a bigger picture of how
The
this
mission.
all works together.
Yeah.
And so to your point, sitting back in the office, like hammering over, and ticking through the tasks and making sure all the work is done by the employees. Um, so much of that can't maybe should be automated depending
Yeah.
on how that's going to help the client ultimately. And so therefore they have to see the connection between how all the things work together.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
have to work across functional lines.
Hmm.
They have to be, we use this word collaborating at a completely different level.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, and what was interesting is the ruler of, it was either Dubai or it was the whole UAE, I don't remember, said we're going to move within, I don't know, 3-4 years, we're going to be all AI centered. Now, I love this idea. I've worked in the Middle East for over 20 years. It's a very hierarchical, very autocratic, bureaucratic system. And now they said, we're just going to do this. Humans will not be able to do, they will not be able to transition that fast. AI is not a cute concept. It's not like, oh, sexy concept, we're going to get on it. It's you have to move the entire culture of work with you. That
Hmm.
will not happen overnight. I don't care how much you pray and hope that that will happen. It cannot.
Yeah.
Hardwood grows slow. So I think what we have to really do is acknowledge the fact that we're not going to be able to catch up as fast as AI does.
Hmm. Hmm.
So as we're looking at what we need to really lead and manage, we'll need the literacy, right? We need to train managers differently on some of these things. Holding on, bottlenecking, now delegating, all of that.
Needs to
You
go.
got to wake up now. Like it's
Yeah.
already
Yeah.
too late, managers. So from our perspective, actually, since we're teaching leadership and management skills, I have seen this already
Hmm.
starting.
Yeah.
So filling in that blank, just this is my personal opinion. I have no data to back it up except my gut, I think. What I'm seeing, I just had a group of 16 managers that have been with us in the program for 3 months. what they're craving is warmth. They're craving vulnerability, relatability, connection. They know how to manage their time and calendar management, all those things that AI will eliminate at some point, right? Like tasks, stupidity in tasks.
Correct.
What they're craving and missing is the connection. That's where I think AI can do us a disservice. So I want to like put a little pause on that. Let's not put AI where humans have an advantage.
Yep. In fact, let's amplify that.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Yeah.
I don't know. This is new. I just literally was on a call with this gentleman who was like, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Like what you do matters so much to me. And I'm so glad you are committed. I'm sitting here going, this is something I've never heard before. I mean, I am grateful, but I would hear like, that was very efficient and effective. Thank you very much. Now I'm hearing a depth of gratitude for this other way of doing things. So I'm wondering what's going to happen. Could there be a flip-flop?
Well, we'll only see what happens, and hopefully things will go right as they always do. And having said that, we're coming towards the end of our podcast today. And one final question to both of you. So, starting Monday, what should organizations do differently to start preparing for this transition or this change or this transformation, rather? Stacy, you want to go first?
I'll say three things. Absolutely dig in and articulate what AI fluency means. Be very clear about it and make sure that every single employee has access to be learning AI. Even if their job is going to be eliminated, it is so much more productive and helpful both to the organization and to the employee if they are learning AI fluency. So be clear about that. Number two is absolutely articulate and communicate what human wisdom means and why it is critically important to our organization, what we're trying to accomplish. And then the third thing is absolutely fully empower employees to be part of the transformation.
Thank you. Maja?
So I'll take a complementary approach. Use it personally first. So if you're not even using ChatGPT, just start there because you will need to catch up. So if you're a leader or a manager, like Stacy said, you don't have the luxury of saying, oh, I don't do that. So start there first. Ask your friends, your colleagues, your workers, how they're using it. I was just taking care of a friend of mine who's recovering from surgery. And she said, and I had a little bit of that, like, well, I don't use it for that. She's like, no, I programmed all my medical data in there. I'm using it as a support tool because my doctors are not responding to me. She's like, it's my health coach. And I was like, whoa, I never thought. So ask people around you how they're using it so you can learn. And then pick one human wisdom, human intelligence skill, and commit to getting on it now. Just work on it, work on it, work on it, so that you're a little bit ahead. So this will be my top three.
Awesome. Well, thank you, folks. Thank you so much for coming on the show today and sharing your insights with the audience. I hope you had fun because I'm sure our audience is going to definitely have fun listening to this episode. Well, there you have it, folks. This was it for this episode of the Rise Up Radio. I'll see you with a new one next time. Till then, you folks take care and be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.